Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I am Alfonso Zienso, and this is today's editions of LPR-TV Live with the panelists. The panelists are here in full to discuss, dissect, and critical issues affecting our country. Welcome to the show. I am Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio in collaboration with the panelists. They are here in full. Welcome to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I am Alfonso Zienso, and this is today's editions of LPR-TV Live with the panelists. The panelists are here in full to discuss, dissect, and critical issues affecting our country. Welcome to the show. I am Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio in collaboration with the panelists. They are here in full. Welcome to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I am Alfonso Zienso, and this is today's editions of LPR-TV Live with the panelists. The panelists are here in full to discuss, dissect, and critical issues affecting our country. Welcome to the show. I am Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio in collaboration with the panelists. They are here in full. Welcome to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I am Alfonso Zienso, and this is today's editions of LPR-TV Live with the panelists. The panelists are here in full to discuss, dissect, and critical issues affecting our country. Welcome to the show. I am Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio in collaboration with the panelists. They are here in full. Welcome to the show. Okay, good evening, so welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you very much for joining us this beautiful evening here, the 15th of June, 2025. This is your program, The Examiner, right here on the Library Public Radio and LPR-TV. Thank you so much. We say happy Father's Day to all of the fathers. Wherever you are in Liberia, right here in the USA, or parts of the world, we say good evenings and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. It's good to be back here, and let's have a conversation. And hopefully, the analysts will join. Being away for a few days offline, just to catch up with other stuff. But the Liberal Progressive and his ally been having a great time here. With the Tabata, the political Reverend Terry, and that of the guy from Delaware, the other liberal from Delaware as well. So, but bottom line, it's good to be here, and we say thank you so much for joining us here this evening. And let's get the ball rolling right here, right now. So we're gonna get a take on some of the things that are happening in Liberia. News making headlines, and we will have a conversation right before your very eyes. So just bear with us, and I will be right with you in a split second for us to have this conversation here. And hopefully we all will participate based on what we know, what is going on inside Liberia. And just news right that is so much important to you. Thank you so much. Welcome to the show. Let's get the ball rolling right here, right now. Okay, good evening, It's good to have you here. Just do us a favor, share the show, and let's have a conversation right here this evening. And of course, I am your host, and so for the Library Public Radio and LPR-TV. Good to have you here this evening. We say happy Father's Day to all of you right here in the USA, inside Liberia, and in parts of the world. And we say thank you for your commitment to this network. If I didn't wish you Father's Day today, rest assured we will do that here on LPR. Too much going on. So if you don't get it, that's not the end of the world. It can change the fact that you are a father. But we say good evening and welcome. Let's see here. Let's see some of the fathers that are here. Let's see if we can recognize and too much ongoing here. Mr. Mark Mullman is here. The Breakable, Jerry Freeman, Joseph K. Morris. I don't want to wish this liberal happy Father's Day. He didn't call me. He did not. Here, folks been having some great time here. So, but anyway, the boat chair. Happy Father's Day. I know you slaughtered one goat today. Definitely. Because I call you multiple times just to say Happy Father's Day. And the children told me that you were called the Father. Yeah, he's something else. The liberal progressive will say Happy Father's Day to all our followers, boys, girls, men, so whatever you are, we say Happy Father's Day. And thank you so much for joining us here. Been having some issue with the system here, so I'm trying to regroup, to readjust myself. So if you see some little glitches here, just bear with me as a Wednesday. That's what happened when you have a board, a man who claims to be a board chairman and is not supporting the administration. All he does, he come on there, I bowl. I will bring audit. I will bring audit. And when the independent voices come out, the likes of Dr. Malley, the silence to put you aside. He and his guy Terry and the other folks to try to do things they're supposed to do. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about here. But trust me, folks, this is going to be resolved before by Wednesday. Just bear with me. You know the holiday are coming. But let me bring in Dr. Malley Jones. One of the independent voices of this network is here this evening, and I'm rest assured that you're going to have a good conversation, objective ones, independent ones that represent the true image of this network as we claim it to be. But there are certain group of folks on this network want to come, they dilute, they pollute, and they just create another chaotic situations, giving excuses, countless excuses that we'll be hearing from time to time. Dr. Jones O'Malley, the Sonians, happy Father's Day.
Oh, many more in return, CEO. What happened to your screen? Your
Happy
screen is
Father's Day.
black. I say your screen is
Yeah,
black.
really? I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure what's going on with my system a few days, and that's one of the reasons I'm been working on it. It's still bad off. It looks good to me, but I'm not sure what
Yeah,
is the Apple looks like. It's still,
I'm seeing you, so I'm sure the viewer also seeing you. It look red black. I'm clear.
hmm,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And even
That is liberal, maybe
if
one
other panelists come, probably they may tell you, oh, you can wait, let it come, but it look
no, I
black.
don't have to wait for it. I mean, I believe you. Yeah, the last few days, and that's what I'm making some changes with my servers here too. Been doing some technical. You found us say we kind of like go off. Even I was on a serious program the other day. It happens. I just try to pictures here. I'm not sure if it is that bad. Let me see here what I can monitor from this device. Oh, it's good
You won't
from
you
what I
you don't
see on
want
the
to
dash.
you don't want to go off and come back and see.
Let me see
See
here.
how it
Let
gonna
me
look.
just why it is like this. Are we still the same? I'm back on the screen. I don't know. I want to see what else. It's still the same?
Yeah.
It is very good. The liberal say is good.
Oh, okay.
Um, as I'm saying it
But
here.
how about your
Yeah,
network?
maybe.
How about your network? Because your voice is breaking in as well.
Yeah, that's what happened. That one day, I would not handle everything as of today. I'm working on that, and hopefully by Wednesday to Thursday, everything will be resolved. But that's the work of the liberal. You know, anytime when we try to do something here, he goes to tour time in the Africans put his foot under the water and think that he will something about that. It is what it is. Okay, let's see here, folks. Just bear with us. Sometimes you know these are technical things, and sometimes it makes it very difficult to handle. Eric,
But
Mr.
then
Eric
if that's
Tallow
the case,
calls to say happy.
yeah, but then if that's the case,
Hmm?
CEO, you know the problem already, then you should find a solution.
Oh no, don't worry. People have on the road. I'm not gonna be like. use a biker and keep to doing so. People here on the road. And one of we well, this board chair, he has to go. We were kicking out, we declare him persona non grata on this network. Okay, Dr. Mari, we just want to spend a little time here. Today is a big holiday. We don't want to take much of our people's time, but again, it's also important that we come out here to also speak to them, to also talk to them. Again, I say happy Father Day, and I say thank you so much for everything that you do for this network, the time, the expertise. And like I always say here, that when you are an analyst for the news outlet, the institution should pay you. But we instead, this network will do it the way other we pay people. But I'm getting so sick and tired with the corruption, this dishonesty at high places in government, even to the extent they want us to get engaged, they want us to do things. And so when we even try to create a situation where we empower people, essentially be self, get employment, the hurdles in the way is just too much. Every system, and this is, we have to talk about that. You're going to bring your own. But look at every sector, whether in government, whether in public corporations, in school, in hospital, everywhere there is this honesty. I'm wondering, how can we progress as a society, as a country, as a people, as an institution? And typical example I want to illustrate, I'll be very strictly to the point, and then you're going to come in. Over a little over 2 weeks, we have paid for our internet service. I mean, we've been with them for I don't know how many years now. The telco, despite we were relocating, we kept our plan and we're still committed to doing because we're trying to find a place. Now we found a place. We went and paid for the place. 2 weeks now. Technicians are unable to go. You have to call some commissioners. You have to call people in, but they carry one thing. Oh, there's one not here. You got to buy the one. You carry one thing. This is, it's just, I don't know. We're going to talk about that. But let me just, how many Father Day wishes you got today? How many persons you remember? Hey, Mr. John, and happy Father's Day. Thank you so much for coming. Rich Coons, happy Father's Day. How many messages you got today?
I got about 62.
Oh, 62? From where?
Half of it from Liberia. 4 from Great Britain. Yeah. And I have bulk of it from here as well. But the majority already came from Ghana, from former students. Yeah.
So,
and some of them I was even surprised that they still following me and they stay in my contact. I didn't even know. So I had to even call some person. Who are you? I can't remember. I said, oh, you can't remember?
Yeah,
you
I remember you.
I said, oh, I'm so sorry. It was so funny.
So I thought I want to be your time, but yeah, it's a funny thing.
Yeah.
Our man, he called me today that he get worker, he didn't get no happy Father Day. So I said,
really?
Yeah, boy, I'm all crying baby today. He get no father. So I said, you know the reason. You know the reason? Well, when you reap is what you sow. You don't get Father Day when you slaughter your goat. You alone eat your goat.
I know.
So that the goat food will wish you happy Father's Day. That's it. Simple as it is. And you won't get it. You not get it. You gotta work on getting Father's Day messages and stuff like that. Mr. Emmanuel Tiet, Mr. Walcott, Barron's Walker, we say happy Father's Day. We want to thank all of you so much. Yeah, but that's the situation. I mean, I don't understand. I don't know how we will really, and this is an old age thing. It has nothing to do with who is there now. But I don't know why these things, why is it like that? That you even pay for a service, you can't get the service, You have to bribe people. You have to call directors, people who don't have anything in order to give instruction to tell people to do it. I don't understand. And sometimes we made this comparison. The services customer relationship is very, very vital. I'm not begging for it. You charged me, you told me I met your criteria as to what to do in order for you to provide service that I need to keep the institution to be able to have a conversation. It was paid for. You give a receipt. You're not even telling us what time you're going to come. We got to be calling you. We're coming. We're coming. You come. Your hands shrinking like a farmer going in the bush. How the hell you go in the bush to say you're going to make fire? You don't even have nothing to even one tree.
I know
it's something. But anyway, today is Father Day. We'll try to calm it down, but and I end up calling one of the higher up. I say you're working on a black snake now. Please tell your people. He said, "What please tell your technician, let them go put my service on." This is not, I'm sorry, I have to do it because I have no choice because it's over 3-4 weeks now. They can go. So that's the system we have. We got to call people at the higher up in order to give instruction. It shouldn't be that way.
No.
But let me just bring you in here. Too much been ongoing here, and I know you guys been talking. What's the latest? I kind of like pick in, get out because I'm trying to get to it. My understanding, everything gone to the criminal court,
Yes, because but I said it on this platform that this case is highly contestable. You see, because it has to, once it was able to advance to criminal court A, then that means the judge that sent it there is convinced that there's enough evidence, hard evidence for the case to proceed. Yeah. But I want to state again that this case will end up in the Supreme Court. It will definitely end up in the Supreme Court again. Yes.
You want to be a good speculator like the liberal now. He's very good at it. Even though his speculation at the end of the day, it can't produce anything, but he still stood his ground and said,
"Yeah, CEO, I'm not doing it from the point of speculation. I'm doing it from the point of the trend. The trend. I noticed there's a certain trend going on in Liberia now. So it's like when the case don't get to the Supreme Court, looking at it, justice hasn't prevailed yet. That's what I'm noticing in our country. Everything it got to end up. When last you ever saw a lower court ruling stand by itself? I can't remember one of them. Maybe there are some, but I really can't recall. But I remember a majority heading that way.
Yeah, and that's a very good observation. But what is responsible for that? If lower cases cannot conclude comprehensively, they can't make a judgment to stand, and every time it goes to Supreme Court, of course, which people have the right to do, and sometimes even decision coming from the Supreme Court, they are defied by the very policies and stakeholders. They don't care about it. They say, well, so we have our own judgment. We have our own verdict. Your verdict is not our verdict. We don't believe in that. It doesn't represent us as a people, as an institution. It undermines us as a people. And so at the end of the day, people do it. But what is responsible for that?
Well, I think we also need to take into consideration some of the legal dynamics. For instance, let me put myself in the shoe of Fanatic Kofa and his group. This is a high-profile lawyer. I mean, he knows the in and out of these things, and probably there's the argument that someone will say, "Oh, the evidence, these are all circumstantial evidence for which I should be found guilty," and so I will have to challenge it. You see, and so at that point, and I think it's almost like the panelists on the platform. And so sometimes we want to show the best of ourselves. We try to portray what we really understand, what we really know from experience, you know. So at the end of the day, I think the same thing is applicable to some of the legal drama I see in our country. Don't forget, you see that Kofa went to the Supreme Court twice. The first time he presented his case, the second time he changed the nomenclature, bill or information. But it was almost the same story. But he tried to polish it because it's like he wanted for someone to listen and to rather go into it and tell the world what it is. And he won. You see? So I think the case will be between circumstantial and non-circumstantial. I think there where the case gonna be. I think so. Because I learned a whole lot of they say, I say, I learned some people confess, whether they were harassed to confess or coerced to confess, I don't know. But I think there where probably the case might take another trend, dramatic trend in Liberia. I want to believe so.
And that's just, if you remember further where, then we are most likely going into the case of that of MMD Frank Zamiton case and that of Colombo Lewis, who said at the time, government people, their confession was not honest, but they were under duress. How can that be proven? But I think this is going to be a very interesting one. I wouldn't be surprised that Senator Fanatic Kofa, a very seasoned lawyer who knows the system, who knows the law itself, he's not just going to lead this along with his defense team. He's going to be punching. He's going to be making some argument to them to say, hey, this is how it's supposed. So he's not a novice. He's not somebody with open hair that is coming. It's not okra with the system. Do you think at some point in time they will see foreign?
Yeah, but CEO, let me just add to what you just said. You can remember during that time when the building was on fire and you had the police, they were mining this place when that place got on fire. It's going to be another issue. And secondly, it was the same police that decided to conduct an investigation. That's going to be another issue. And it was the same police working under the government that sent for this expert to come and go into this case when they have already tampered with a whole lot of stuff. All those who are going to...
They even recommended. And part of their argument was some sort of forensic intervention. There must be some sort of and I wouldn't be surprised. That's going to be the argument of the defense, because in the police, state government, they have not addressed themselves to that.
No.
And all of the conferences, you see how horrible in the beginning. And this is what they want to. I think this is where Kofa and his group is just insufficient. By get all people talking, I can talk. You can interpret what I say. You know, I say it, I have an interpretation. People try to link it with the Alamo and all of that. Yes, that's a different thing. And there are so many ways that people fight for their civil liberties. If your civil liberties are under attack, on a siege, so you can interpret or you cannot equip what he called for Twitter, regardless whether the tweet were removed. That's the one thing. But you know, the self-interpretation, our understanding to things in the real world is different when it goes before the court. The court asks for high court evidence. You have to prove your case. And I think that's where Kofa and his people are going to go. And two, before you come in, interestingly, everything has been to Greco Coleman. Yes, he is the IG. Where is the fire service report in this whole thing here? Where's the report? We saw the horrible conferences, no briefing. He just come out and say something. People don't ask the question they're supposed to ask. You brought in experts. Some of them that went out understanding were yet to be verified. They took them to Cape Mount or whatever way over there. That also compromised their independence. If that is true, it's being reported. Where is actually the report? Some of the time you say, okay, it's a go look it on website. Go look it up on Western Police website. You made a point, and that's the point we have been talking about here. prior to that, this Capitol building, I am 100%. I want to know who are the doers. It doesn't matter whether Kofa and all of that. Who are the doers? That is our proud of our nation. Capitol building for anybody to do such what it did. But this case has to be proven beyond all reasonable doubt. Now, this building, prior to that incident, it was under the full jurisdiction protections of the joint security. The joint security is not only the police, the NSA, paramilitary, immigration, so it's a combination of all of these paramilitary institutions. They were in possession. They were controlling that building. So, it reminds me in Waterloo, right? When UNHCR, they brought our food, they had the Sierra Leoneans, they call SSD, the police, and all of those people. They brought, just imagine, food came late hour, refugee at the time, people hungry, right? Yeah. And then the next morning you're supposed to get food distribution. And then all of a sudden, we wake up, my man, we go to our refugee bear to go get food. that thing, those portable thing, those UNHCR and almost 1,000 whatever feet. Hell of a big time. The community leadership who wanted to play that, people carry their bucket, pen to get their starfish, oil and thing. They open a hotel, polling play there. It turned to sport complex. Food, everything disappeared. I remember the guy very well. Oh yeah, Lord, society is hell of a. President Sandy, welcome. Happy Father Day. Rufus. So when the UNHCR guy, quick little bit in show, when the UNHCR guy came, the guy, I believe from Cameroon, Mr. Chanda, very good guy. He was a refugee and he was a protection officer. When they came, he speak, he said, "Boy, what do you do?" The commando. The commander, Bangura. This guy, Mr. Jerry Body, who is not in Canada, he was then the chairman. They went there. Everybody was so upset. Oh, we saw the food, the people all the food for all of that. He said, but I don't get IBM. That security man, when I said, I didn't say that I just looking, I didn't get IBM, and that's what happened behind me. So you security man, you just put you in front of the building that way you was sitting there. Any other thing that happen, you get IBM. You can't imagine. Now, the police was in charge. What is the perimeter of that Capitol building? So where were they? These people were deployed. I believe there was some imminent information that they received. And what is so troubling in this whole thing here, the IG, not even one police officer, not one person. You see, sometimes they do their thing and they raises so much concerns more than so much questions than answer. Not one person to say, oh, this person colluded or connived with these people here. We have nothing, nobody. So we want to know how many persons were deployed. What was the intensities of the threat that led to the deployment? These gallons, any forensic, I don't know. So I wouldn't be surprised that Kofa, he's just not going to be only sitting as accuser, but he's going to be making some punches to his defense team that the GOL has to prove everything beyond reasonable doubt. President Sandy, happy Harrison, Lieutenant. Everybody will say Maurice Roberts. I will say happy Father Day. Aliyu, good to have you. Happy Father Day. I wanted to see how this thing gonna end.
But here is another puzzle to this story. This is arson. This is fire related, and we have fire related department in Liberia. We have, I don't know what is a commission.
The man who wore a higher suit to go check fire.
Okay. So my question now is, does the fire chief report to the police director, or they all report to the justice minister? Because that analysis that was presented by the police department chief, I think that information should have come from the fire chief and supported by the police boss. But instead, the police boss overshadowed that whole thing. That man did not even speak to that place, and he was just there visible, and he left. And that is an issue.
It is an issue. And two, to add, we have seen here in modern society and everywhere as it should be, when these sort of high-profile cases, you have a full representation. You have the DA, the district attorney, like you said, is fire-related. The fire chief should be the one to lead this marathon. Should be the one to be. How many debriefing were provided? You know, I have some tips and things, but you know, my whole service is just zigzag. Let's welcome the Reverend. Let the people of God say, "Hey, man, the Reverend is here." Let's see what you have for us here today. Let me move this from you. Our overlay here, Reverend, our own Terry. Good to have you here. What is it? What the thing going? Terry, just bear with me quickly. Okay, let me move this here. So, you know, you and your neighbor can say, "Oh, they brought my own man, they black a face. We can't see him. We can't do it." Yeah. So, I don't remember how many briefings were held in the absence of the district attorney, the fire chief. Greco Coleman was the only dick in the time. He's the one that caught in the shot. He is the one that provided answers, and some of these answers, and you have other person on the other side, government official, public corporations, everybody giving their own interpretation. Mr. Collins, happy Father's Day.
Yeah, happy Father's Day to you and Dr. Mali. You know.
Happy Father's Day, man.
Yeah.
How many calls you got today, Reverend? Your congregation, they call you.
The CEO is building a database to know how many Father Day call came to some people so he can measure it with a yard.
It may get none, so I just want to let you know now. The so-called guru, he didn't get none.
Oh, the political guru didn't get none?
He didn't get none.
No, so man, I don't believe so.
That means if you have below 10, then you got to work on your father position.
Yeah. By the way, Mr. Collins, good to have you. And it's good to have you again. I want to say thank you so much for your commitment, coming out here every evening, every night, literally 7 days, 5 days in a week. It's time consuming. It's a lot, but this is what we all desire. This is what we committed to doing. And so I just want to say upfront here, thank you so much. We are very, very much blessed to have you, even though sometimes you're now you're being what are you being coerced by the liberal wing of business, where Samson Toll and his a liberal ally from Delaware area. I'm not sure whether Moses Sandy part of that group, but Moses Sandy not too. Yeah, it looked like I think he's more or less moving in the liberal wing. That is okay. So, but anyway, happy Father's Day and good to have you here this evening.
Yeah,
but CEO, before Terry come in, I don't know. Probably I'm now well exposed to some of the dynamics of the whole security arrangement when it comes to investigation. Unless where I can throw my 1-2 into education and some social services. But I think since the police took control of protecting this building, I think the logical thing that should have happened was to turn the investigation over to the fire department. Since the police were already manning this place, they cannot investigate themselves. Then the fire department send a high on mine to bring in an outside expert. Don't go to the site. Let a fire expert come, go into this case, and come up with its verdict. But it was rather the other way around, where the
so I'm going to have a divided. I'm going to have a divided role here, and that's the beauty of this network here. Even though both of all we on here, I think the police does have a share into this whole thing here, especially when there's a potential crime or when there's a crime being committed. The police, they have a crime detective side to be part of it. I have no problem with that. Obviously, the police is supposed to be there. But what I'm seeing more likely, the joint security. The joint security, the Ministry of National Defense, NSA, the police, the immigration, the fire service, GD, DFO, all of those people here, they are the joint security. I strongly believe because he said joint security was going to be in charge. So these people were deployed. If they were deployed, the defense team will want to know who is the commander, how many men were deployed at the time when the deployment took place, how many persons were there, who were those in shift, who were the shift commander when this incident occurred. My only problem here is all of the briefings by this police yet, I believe is not a full representations of the joint security. I never remember seeing the DA or the district attorney, whatever, I've been present when all of these things here, but Gregor Coleman just go out there and call his shot and do it the way. So I'm not sure. Let's get Terry's side of the story here. I'm not sure whether these questions are relevant in terms of who knows what. You have people, you can't have people in charge guarding the banking institution. You have robbery, people going in there to burglarize, and not even one person is being held as a suspect to answer how they enter, where, nothing. We're just getting a lot of things on the surface. Terry, are these legitimate questions for us to raise?
Well, not really, because Mr. So
Oh,
the police, yeah, in a criminal investigation, security can be on the ground and criminal can carry on the operation. Any part of the world, criminals are criminal. They can devise to do mischief.
Yeah, so is it possible there can be a collusion as well that the police, they are not saying that they connive with people to facilitate, and which is common, is typical. Is that possible as well?
It's possible, but the problem with us is that we who are not investigators, we don't want to leave it with the police to investigate. We are concluding the matter before the conclusion of the matter. And obviously, that would be a wrong thing, because in the aspect of the case going to court now, the court will decide whether if these people were wrong. And if the court come up with a ruling that says that these people are not wrong, and there is no sufficient evidence, then that means we can hold the police now responsible for the burning of the Capitol. But until then,
no, hold on one second. I'm not saying we are holding. Are you saying that we as a citizen, if you have your house here, if there's any crime or anything being reported, and when it comes to take that red line indicating crime scene, that house, that premises is under surveillance. And we have those people. Are you saying, Mr. Collins, that we do not have a right to ask to tell us their version, who were there, how these people enter? We shouldn't ask them until the court takes a decision. Then we'll go back to investigate.
well,
There's no intent.
yeah,
You are saying something like you are literally saying like Zana Cummings and the guy who is the ambassador now, with that 75,000 thing, they say they turn it to the police. You people, your people, they were in charge. It was delivered to them. What is your own internal investigation, preliminary investigation that you are taking to the police? We didn't hear
but
nothing.
Mr.
So there seems to be a thing.
when we say in charge, what do you mean? Were you there to see that the police were taking full responsibility of the structure in question? You don't know. The police never told you that they were in full. This is a building responsible that fall directly under another branch of government. There are people that are accusing the majority black, saying that the chairs were removed from the place. Obviously, you think the majority black will allow the chairs that Mervyn Corden went and broke. The first chair they went and broke and damaged the place. You expect for the majority black to leave those chairs there again every time they have session? So people say because the chairs were removed pending the fire incident, that means that the majority black was the one who burned the place. The majority black were always removing chairs because previously the first chair was destroyed by the minority black.
That's not my,
so it's obvious.
That's not my argument. That's not my argument. I didn't say even all of those needs to be investigated. Those are
but that's what they have investigated already. Mr. So these people have investigated all that, and they have consolidated the investigation and presented the argument to the court. So the thing we're talking now, that speculation of the speculation that are not even part of the investigation that went on. We saw international people came, they did the investigation. I listened to Dr. Mali talking about
What was the outcome of that?
But and now we the post they get a investing, they get all the prima facie, the evidences, all the traces, and all that. That's why they vindicated two key persons that we expected to have been in the process. They didn't find anything on them. Safoko and Melvin Cole. That for me, it shocked me because Safoko said he would bring the John Jim up. Melvin Cole said the people want war will bring war. In fact, Melvin Cole were the one who were breaking the chairs and causing catastrophe. But the investigation did not include them. So that means that the investigation is in the place where we just have to allow it to see where how deep the rabbit hole goes, in my
No,
opinion.
you see, this is how these, you are one of those now conducting this kangaroo court here now, because Melvin Cole said he was going to run the play and he's not being included into this investigation. So you are shocked. You completely missing in mind now because he should be there. That's not how the court goes about to adjudicate people. Not because you say it. When you say it, they're going to look at where is the connection. If such things occur where you part of it, you facilitate, but now you don't agree with it. But Dr. Malley,
Yes.
You heard the Reverend.
Yeah, I disagree with everything that the Reverend placed on this table tonight. Because here is the fight. The police was protecting government institution, and normally the police does that. They protect, even in this country, the riots are going on now. People are protecting federal buildings around here. LA is happening there, right? So the police was in charge. So, but let's just digress a bit on the issue of the two people who were acquitted. Maybe it could have been non-circumstantial evidence from them. I mean, I will burn this place. I will burn the place. All right. Why they excluded them, I really don't have the details. But here is the fact. If the police were manning this building before and after, shouldn't the police be investigated? So if the argument here is that this building was being protected by the Joint Security Force in Liberia, then what constitutes the Joint Security Force? Does it constitute that of the fire service, the military, the Coast Guard? I don't know what is that Joint Security Force that was parading this place. But here is what is troubling. This building was being protected by the police. In the mess, the fire came up. All right. So shouldn't the police be investigated as well? Now the police went to do its own investigation before bringing in an expert. A very intelligent security officer would tell you, say, evidence had already been tampered with before bringing the expert from outside. So my question now is, why they couldn't just hold on, nobody do any investigation, let an expert come from outside, do their investigation, and make their findings to the police? Why they didn't do that? That's another issue Kofa then could hang on. Why they didn't do that?
So, and another thing to add, that's just a little to the layer here. We do not mean to pound you here, but we just want to have an honest conversation. Was there any probable cause that led to the presence of the joint security at the Capitol building? You think so, Terry? The deployment of a paramilitary joint security forces, was there any probable or imminent threat that led then to that led government to reach a decision that they have the presence of paramilitary personnel, police, and the rest of the security personnel to be posted at the Capitol building? Because we're told that there also people of the truth, the strength of the people were there. I'm asking, were there any threat or probable cause that led to that decision?
Mr. So there was a threat. If you listen to Gregor Coleman, he said they received intel that the building was going to be attacked. The building was going to be burned. They received intel.
Okay, so
Okay, that's why they receive the intel. So it means the police, the paramilitary, the folks there, they should be vigilant to be on alert because some evildoers or some bad actors who are most likely to do something unknown to them. So considering that they were there, this happened, were they vigilant there?
Oh yeah,
Where the gap came
it's
from?
the same thing happened in America. The American
I don't
government
talk,
received intel.
I don't hear
No,
America. I'm talking about what's
you got
happening
to
abroad.
compare and contrast now. The American government received intel that there were going to be a terroristic bombing. Security were all beefed up. But why did the terrorists penetrate the American airspace? Still, you cannot tell when a criminal will make a move. You can't tell. You know what I'm saying? So these guys made sure to barricade the place when the time was needed.
Oh,
And Dr. Malik keeps
but
saying the
the
police
play
were not
was very.
investigated.
No, I'm not calling for the police. I'm not asking for the police to be investigated. I'm asking that
But
we need some answers. Now, I hear you quoting from you directly using your own word. The place were barricaded. When a place is barricaded, it's sealed up. It's been very restrictive. Only people that need to go in that building. So I'm asking, do you think prior to that place being barricaded, do you think the surveillance? I've not heard that from Gregory Coleman. There are a lot of pieces of information still lacking in that's why we are just want to ask you. Do you think they took a comprehensive review to inspect the building? Because now you're sealing up, you're closing everything. Employees and people that work janitors and everybody that working there now, there's less restriction because there's an imminent threat, which of course they had the right to do. Considering other than I'm wondering, or have you heard anything in his report? What are the police, the joint security took a comprehensive review of the building, not just outside in the fence, but inside the building to see what was there, anything. Do you remember them doing anything of that?
well, I cannot tell, but I know that they did what they were able to do within a period of time that they had the access to the building. We must also understand that the building have its own security personnel. And some people who understand the building, the police do not understand the building. The police did not have the keys to
What?
enter the building. They didn't have the keys.
So
Can you vividly tell us that the police people had a key for the building?
Let me one point of
so they were
correction
just
here.
on the posted to in the yard. They just saying outside the fence to
Probably.
look at the wall.
But they didn't have the key.
Yo,
Police not supposed to go in the building. They didn't have the key to the entry of the building. That building
yo,
have its
The
own
police entered
security.
that building before. Lawmakers were brutalized. We saw
but
that.
They were
CEO,
not.
They entered
They
that
were
building
not in
before.
the
CEO,
building. But you said before.
let me make
Before
one point
is
of
not.
correction here.
Before it, when the building is already open by the staff force that are responsible for the
How
building,
many
the
Capitol
Capitol building.
Police, since the time of the trouble, the Dole time, how many Capitol Police members that you know that have? Besides the people
No,
who just
but
say that as a receptionist, how many Capitol Police
CEO,
do they carry any
let
gun?
me make one
Are
point
they
of
equipped to protect
let me
the
make
civilian
one point of
department?
correction here. I read Gregory Coleman report, its entirety. Okay, it came a point that whole Capitol building was no go zone. You can't go there. You can't go
not to go to work.
And besides that,
Who told
the
who not to go
report.
to work?
I'm coming. Besides that, the
You
report.
know that
In the report.
employee people are restricted from going to work.
No,
Hello.
Very
Besides
few
that,
people have access to
no,
that.
CEO.
no.
Let me
There's no
lay my
record that
point.
shows that.
Yeah. Besides that, the
Okay.
report. I'm going by the report. That report, there is nothing about the Capitol Police stated in anywhere in that report. Go and read that report. Capitol Police, nothing like that is in that report. Whether they were there manning the building and someone got to they got to open the door for people to go inside. The police were in charge of that entire perimeter.
Most
There
of
is
the
nothing
people.
in that report.
So, Dr. Mado, let me
Let me
ask you
learn.
a point of inquiry.
Let me learn.
Point of inquiry. Okay, go ahead, then.
I've been finding out some of the sensitive nature of this report. And the one you brought, one thing I was even looking for, what was the role of the Capitol Police? I was really looking for it in that report. This is a comprehensive report, all right, from Gregory himself. I did not see the Capitol Police role neither even the War Capital Police spare in any part of that report. I didn't see it. Maybe if you saw it, fine, but I didn't see it.
Dr. Male,
Go
my
ahead.
inquiry
Yeah.
my inquiry is this, right?
Mhm.
Those who were arrested, besides Honorable Kofaden,
Mhm.
for the burning of the Capitol, were they employees at the Capitol? Were
did
they
not see
people who had access to the Capitol?
I did not see that in the report. I'm going by the report. The report did
But
not talk about employee.
who was Thomas Etrick? Who was Thomas Etrick?
The report did not talk about employee. The report talked about representatives.
You tell us.
But
And
representative
representative and staff are two categories of people.
So those who were arrested, no staff were among them?
I didn't see staff in the report. I'm talking on the basis of the report.
Who was Thomas Etrick? Was he a staffer?
But tell
What
us.
did he?
Tell us.
These are things because
this thing, and I said that. Listen, now this thing, the report, a certain part of the report is ambiguous. Everything you're raising on here, everything that you're raising here, I don't know whether you read the report. Staffer, Capital Police.
I don't understand your report.
I already see some of these things in the report. So I'm basing my whole analysis on the report that I read. Yeah.
So okay, when the independent minds are to give them, here in Liberal, they've been doing a lot of their top time around here with Clarence Davis and all of those people here. Well, tell us about these guys here. What you know about them?
Cool guys now. The guys who were in the something. But Thomas Etrick worked in the office of in the office of the Honorable Speaker. Thomas Etrick.
So then is that for me? Then that is for me. It's not strange for an investigator. There is not if he's a staffer to the accuser who happens to be Fanatic Kofa. It's obvious that investigators they need to talk to those people here. So is that a big deal? So all of the other lawmakers, who are the other people they have ever talked to? Because this whole thing, there's a genesis of this whole thing. The tension came from somewhere because of something that went on. Who are the other people that they have talked to besides Kofa people?
Yeah, CEO, here's another thing. In the report, they said there's this assumption that this thing was set on fire by gasoline. Okay. They said there was a container. Okay. Now that container, you can get a fingerprint. That's the detail now. I think we'll go to the court.
Why is the season? Why is a camera? We're gonna go by forensic here. Dion and you and your liberal with destiny and this and that.
Oh yeah, this is involved forensic, of course.
But yeah, it's up to the court. That's why I say you're leaving with the court. Let the court handle this thing.
Where are the video footage of people? Do we have the video? The police, they can tell, government can tell us the video footage. People go, I want to know. Do they have any camera in our building?
Now the mayor of God has said they acquitted 2 persons, so that means he doesn't even want to believe why they acquitted them because of what they said. Okay, but then let me take you back. I come in now. Let me take you back to His Excellency when he said those who were involved in the thing they will face the full weight of the law. So what do you say about that? So if the case go again, we say the president right?
I was trying to tell you guys because you guys were saying that the police were biased.
Let's take a look at this.
There's a lot of wanton destruction that is going on in this country. Beginning with this, we're not going to tolerate this anymore in this country. We are a poor country. People are trying to help us, and other people are bent on destroying this country. You have problem. We have the rule of law. We have every way in this place to be able to listen to you. But we're not going to accept this. And we're asking the Minister of Justice, all of the security apparatus, including our friends, to investigate this letter. People who are culprit, we will deal with them, and we'll set the tune for all other people who, when they get angry, they burn down the police, they destroy this. We're not going to allow this. So we just want to say, to console the members of the first family in this government, and we're in sympathy with them, but this destruction we have to stop. And we're not going to allow this to happen in this country. But people who have problems, we have the way to remedy all the issues in this country. So that's all I have to tell you. I'm happy that you are here. You will look at yourself, but we're not going to settle for this. This is not a place for hooligans. This is a place for responsible people who are here to serve the Liberian people. This country is poor, and I don't care what they do or build this country for the interest of future generations.
Thank you.
His Excellency President Joseph Nyuma Boak.
The president was acting on emotions with his left-hand speaker right back. No, listen, what I'm saying, in crisis, you are, he was, it's unbelievable. In crisis, the leader more or less becomes stable, stay in the old. I'm telling you, the crowd thing has already been polluted. It's been contaminated.
But Mr. So,
I can't think you have your day in court. Trust me, you're gonna have it. I'm not gonna do how you and your something talk and be here to Dr. Mali. You an equal chair here.
Oh, me,
I'm saying. You're a liberal. You don't allow when a man come on your show, you put him one side, he become like a you better. But what I'm saying on a serious note here, you listen to the president. Okay, he was using some words, and I saw the entire government apparatus were present. That is concerning to me. That itself endangered the life of the president. This is something that have happened in less than 72 hours or whatever time. The entire government went straight there. We don't even know what are those people, the bad guys, what are explosive. Are they gone there to do any assessment? Nothing. They're just grabbing, run from across the road, bringing it to host a press conference. For God's sake, that itself is concerning. Stay in your office, be stable, be calm, address the nation, and turn this to the investigator about the power of vest. You know, you have the other guy who on the other side where all the tension came from. You have the other man, the regional speaker go on the other side, the other man closer, there's a barricade, all of that. We got a lot to do. Sarah, go ahead.
So first of all, it is the president's right to speak the way he did. It happened in America during George Bush when the Twin Tower came down. George Bush that very night declared that it was a terroristic attack on the United States soil.
You went to the Twin Tower ground? You went to the Tower ground?
No, I agree. He went there. He didn't go there, but he spoke to the issue and made the American people to understand that this was a terroristic attack. The president might have been briefed.
Why he didn't go to the Trade Center?
That was his choice, Mr. So. That was his choice. That was the security apparatus choosing. The security chose the decision as to how they manage the president. In America here, when there are shootings at schools, President Obama, President Trump, President Biden, they all go to the site where the shooting took place, where the killing of students and things. So it's a normal thing. People like to make politics out of everything when they don't even have anything to make politics out of. I'm not a representative of this government. I'm not eating the millions they're eating, but we must put facts to where facts belong.
How sure are we? You more or less more like the foreign affairs spokesperson to this government. That's why the liberal. But this time the liberal is because the liberal is anti-qualified. So this is where the gap comes in now with you. More or less, you are more like a foreign affairs spokesperson.
No. We're not benefiting. And for me, I know about myself, and I know Liberal is not also Liberal guy. But what I'm saying is that the president spoke to the issue based upon the intel. No, Liberal is Liberal is an engineer, and he doing a thing.
He's providing consultancy to Guinea. Oh, now, Dr. Mara, hear what you're saying? He's speaking in code. The labor is an engineer, and he's providing consultancy to
No.
Mr. Gideon.
Labor do his work in Sacramento and makes his money from his labor and his sweat. Labor is not in the government. You're not benefiting anything from that. That is why labor can speak his mind. That's why I say I can speak my mind, because I don't want nothing from them. Even though I know them, labor don't know them, but I know them, and I don't want nothing from them.
When last you started speaking your minds on this platform? When last?
I always do, Doc. I always do. If you want to be honest, I always do. And I'm a straight shooter. I tell the government what their mistakes are. However, little bit so, in regards to this other one here, it is clear that the president spoke to the issue based upon intel, and I was reading something here. Thomas Etrick, to Dr. Mali, Thomas Etrick was the chief of maintenance in the office of Honorable Kofa, the chief of maintenance. So he had a breast information and knowledge on the in total of the entire building.
Is that a surprise for him to be called in? That's what I'm asking. It's not a news for me. Obviously, when his boss is accused of something, he has been one of the key persons that have.
But his boss was never accused before he was called.
I mean, he has been the center of gravity in this whole thing here. We know what this thing started from. Don't give it a sour dressing story this evening here, and that's the reason you are placing emphasis on that. You are not telling us on the other side, some of those people who are senior staffers, why nobody were called in? Why all of these people that were in charge of our Capitol building that led and this Capitol building set ablaze, why up to this time the Joint Security is not telling us that potentially there are one or two officers probably linked with this here and just want to go into? I mean, that's our argument.
But Mr. So, you're talking about the people who were in charge, who have the keys to the Capitol building. The last time I checked, the man who is responsible for rule and order is what Marvin Cole. They the one who had the key for the Capitol building. Every other thing, because if they didn't have the key, the majority of black won't be busting doors and things. So the people who had the key for the Capitol building are responsible for the Capitol building. Not the police. If the police officer didn't get the key to enter the Capitol building, how they will know that fire going on inside?
So you said who bossed the building?
I said if the majority of black had keys, they won't be breaking down doors. And so I hope you playing Marvin Code and breaking the chairs too. You play that one? You play the tear gas, the Marvin Code and shooting tear gas in the play. I now know that tear gas or pepper spray. You play that one too?
I'm asking you
we are playing a
play the Marvin Code and lock the representative chamber and stop this deputy speaker from having quorum. You play that one too?
Men of God, I think the CEO is playing tape that resonate with the conversation emotion.
But I don't want resonate with the conversation emotion.
So now listen.
They all resonate with it.
I'm trying to be illustrative here. You said people are bossing doors. What are the bossing doors you are? I'm asking, is that a
ruling of the chair too? Play the taking the chair, the breaking of the chairs. Who had the key that entered the play and broke the chair early in the morning before even the majority black will enter? Somebody broke the chairs early in the morning. You won't play that one.
Send me your evidence.
Send
me the evidence.
We'll be guessing.
The report is about
we put it in there.
The report is about the fire. All the things you see are not in the report.
So they're breaking our door now in the report?
No, I said that the fire thing in the report.
But then that discuss the fire. Forget about the breaking our door.
No. The CEO is bringing the illustration to be in line with your analysis.
The CEO is a political journalist managing the evidence here. So now managing the evidence because he want to present a narrative. My point here is that the people who had the key was the rule of order. They don't want to know the in total of the Capitol building. That is why I was surprised when Melvin Cole got vindicated. Because Melvin Cole, in my opinion, he was the man on rule and order. He was very aggressive. And I was also surprised. Yeke Koluba, let me be honest with you. I respect Yeke Koluba. Yeke Koluba get a beamer, he will make beamer, he will toy, he will cost. But when it comes to causing damage, Yeke Koluba, when his knee will never come on it. That's one of the smartest Liberian politicians I ever see in our country. You will never hear Yeke Koluba knee among somebody vandalizing property, causing problem. But Yeke Koluba will talk. He will curse. He will talk. But you will never see Yeke Koluba, they catching him, he destroying property and thing. He followed the law.
Okay, point of interjection. I don't know whether he showed that Yeke Koluba follows the law. But here is my point of interjection. Do you know that Yeke Koluba utterances can sometimes lead to a civil war in our country? Have you taken note of that?
His utterances? Then where is our freedom of speech? But our freedom of speech,
That's
right?
what I'm saying. If your freedom of speech will lead to all going to civil war, then we have to quash your freedom of speech because we don't want to go to civil war.
Okay. Well, I partly agree with you, Dr. Mali, because there are some expressions from Yeke Koluba, like the expression he made one time that if he will go for the president in the mansion and bring him down. Those expressions, I agree, it have its sentiments to create chaos. But Yeke Koluba is harmless. Even from 6 years, Joe, we are done.
No, but man of God, let me tell you something. That statement the man made about the president. You know, if anything goes wrong, he will be the first suspect.
I agree. But suspect doesn't mean you are guilty.
No.
Suspect is to call you in.
What I mean is being a suspect as a lawmaker is disgraceful, especially when it links to something terrible. This is the reason why Yeke Koluba wars can be transformed into a weapon that could lead to civil war in our country. So I don't know why we're supporting that.
No, I'm not supporting it. I'm saying I was surprised. I'm very surprised that people like Yeke Koluba, people like Melvin Cole, people like Safoko, they were vindicated. I'm very surprised because, in my opinion, and that is what I want to believe, that the police did a very good job. Because if they wanted to pin witch hunt on anybody, these 3 characters, they were supposed to be designated for witch hunting. Because you look at Honorable Kofa, he's a quiet man. He don't talk much. He don't make, flamboyant statements and threatening remarks. If you look at Abu Kamara, I never heard Abu Kamara making threatening remarks. I never heard Dixon Sibo making threatening remarks. All right? So if the police wanted to witch hunt somebody, they could have gone after Yeke Koluba and Safoko and Melvin Cole, because these were the 3 guys that are terrorized that whole entire or something during that saga.
So Collins, are you telling us the witch hunt Kofa, because he's a quiet man, he went with the president to the room, they were praying, and then out of a sudden political coup d'etat took place. So his sympathy.
That's the man of God assumption, of course.
Well, I'm not going to be the conductor on the train because I'm not on the train. Are you understanding me? But I am going to speak my opinion. In my opinion, I did not say, what I'm trying to say is that there are other guys who believe that the government is witch hunting. All right? So I'm saying, if the government will want to witch hunt, they will want to witch hunt people like Yeke Koluba, who have been very aggressive on the president and the government. And Yeke Koluba was with the minority black all through these things, threatening and making severe threatening remarks. Let watch Melvin Cole. But the government vindicated them from the investigation to show the level of transparency. That this thing, so in my opinion, the government indicted 3 persons that have not made threatening remarks on the president and on the country. So why, in my opinion, why can't we allow this thing to go through the right process and these people be vindicated? Why do we have to muddy the water and say, these people, the government doing this, the government doing that? Because with all being said, Mr. So, I think these guys, if they have good lawyers, they can escape. I really want to think so. Because this case, and Fonati Kofa is a lawyer. He already had favor at the Supreme Court and to the Justice Ministry. He got favor because he had been doing law there for a while. So let him go and plead a case. Like you guys are saying, that the government don't look like they have sufficient evidence on him.
Wait a minute now.
So let him
you think Kofa won at the Supreme Court because of favor? You think so?
No, I don't think so. I'm saying one way or the other, you practice law in that court and you go in there you are being accused. You go in there, one way or the other, lawyers will have sympathy on you because you practice law in that area. That's my position.
Okay.
You've been practicing law there. So, Mr. So
is that a justice system that we want because you were part of the system, you were in the bad will, so you should do something to get out of the way?
Mr. So even in the great United States of America, right? When you are a person who have not committed certain kind of crimes, when you go to court, the court can have favor. They can favor you in one way or the other because they know that you don't have a history of criminal record of this kind. Honorable Kofa do not have a history of arson, criminal facilitation, criminal solicitation records. And he has been a lawyer practicing law.
Men of God, if that the kind of system you're bringing in our country because you're supposed to work a detrimental to the legal system.
Let's ask our security, the Delaware. But I'm not sure what I'm going to get anything out of it because these are all allies of the labor, but they have a little bit of role because the labor is a
as the CEO, before the security analysts come in, let me just read this flash. Presiding Judge Ben Bako ruled that the motion lacked sufficient legal grounds to terminate the case at this stage, thus clearing the way for the matter to proceed to trial. The issue raised by the defense are matters best left for a jury trial.
Finish.
This court finds that the prosecution has met the threshold to proceed with this case. So that means there are so many solid things in this case to proceed, and it may end up to a jury trial. Yes, this is what the guy is telling us, Ben Bago, the judge.
Let's bring in our security analyst.
So I don't know what the man of God stand on this flash.
Okay, and I will take us back to the scripture, but let's bring in our own security analyst. Vice experience, who has written a lot of proposals. Senator Helen Johnson Sally, he brought in Boyka, give it to Joseph Boyka. Boyka says in Delaware with Joe Biden. Already we'll call you. Moses, good evening. Happy Father's Day.
Good evening. Happy Father's Day, gentlemen.
The CEO come and ask you how many people call you.
Enough.
Oh, okay, no. So that only your man only get no phone call today. I feel bad for him. But anyway, I'm not going to go there.
Who you got no phone call?
The boy chair. Nobody call him.
He called the client that, who he asked me, how many people call you Father Day? When I told him he went wild. Oh, nobody called me, sir. So I say, yeah, when you're eating your
security analyst, when nobody call you on Father Day, then you got to review your Father Day position.
I know.
I know this sound repetitive because we have been talking this thing over and over and over. And we just try to pull all of the strings and to see what makes sense and how the court system, the law enforcement community, and start work here. You heard Terry saying here, judges, they are sympathetic based on your crime history. So when somebody kills somebody today,
they have been favored,
not killed before, they say you will go, they will favor you. Now, we've been arguing here. There are some things that I'm still looking for to see. And maybe if we're not saying it right here, disabuse us here. This whole case here is a convoluted one because there are so many, things involved from the start to the finish. The presence of the security, the joint security apparatus, the briefings. We didn't see the full bodies of the joint security, state prosecutor, and all of this side by side to see whether there's some sort of, cohesive force in terms of how they were proceeding to this investigation to get us to be where we are today. The last answer to be answered. The fire service, chief man, your friend who wore the suit, how the crime scene was completely contaminated. The entire government after the incident move into the crime scene. That is a compromise itself. Now, the accuser, do they have a right to demand some sort of forensic testing, videos of how the crime was committed, who did what did the police know, how many persons was present at that building? And I'm wondering here, maybe you have talked to your friends and within the system here too. Before the presence of the security, I want to know whether there was some sort of inspections within the building physically, because I believe there was an imminent threat that led to the presence of police and paramilitary personnel, joint security to be deployed. Do you think all of that were conclusive? Do you think the defense will be making this argument, will be asking are they legitimate questions?
Well, let me just say this. In as much as, we have our own views on it, as someone who's been in the criminal justice system for a while, and they consider me, criminal justice practitioner, looking at this case, I would tell you from the jump start is that the defense, in many cases like this, the first thing is that the defense sits supinely and let the prosecutor prove their case. They are the one who have the burden of proof to show that the defendant committed the crime. So for the defendant to go and start requesting second evidence, it's like helping the prosecutors. If the prosecutor doesn't have it, you use it to poke holes, because in a case like this, a criminal trial as this is beyond a reasonable doubt. It's not a preponderance of the evidence. So the case, so that means they're not weighing the case to say who is higher than the other, who proving more case than the other, as in civil matters. So the defense, in many cases like this, sit quietly. Equally so, anything that the prosecutors has, they have to produce it, give it to the defense to prepare themselves for a counter, to make sure that, they defend the defendant. So all these things with the defendant speaking out and all of that, I said the other day on the show that they're digging a hole for themselves. They should be quiet and let the prosecutor present this case. Now, as in what Dr. Molly just said, he just read the decision of the circuit court. Now, the court was trying to determine if there were enough evidence to move forward for a criminal case.
Yeah.
And that determination was made, and that's why it's going to court A, courtroom A for a prosecutor, for the prosecutor to present it. Now, the defendants were there, and they started to question some of those things. And they were too fast to talk. They've been too fast. They're helping the prosecutor with their case. Because if I was a defendant, and I know you didn't have the whole proof to prove that I was guilty and I committed a crime, I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to tell you, say, go bring this, go bring that, go bring the other. If you didn't bring it, we would tell the court in our defense that we want to see this document. We want to see this proof. If they're going to say something, we want to see how they got it. And I think, and when you talked about the joint security, one of the things that I think, one of the biggest mistakes, and I think that may help the defendants in this case, is that the IG alone is up haywire giving press conferences. And you don't see a collaborative effort in new conferences that included the fire department and any other security what you call it apparatus being a part of this press conference. So how you can say it's a joint security that investigated the matter and no one's standing with you to present the case? You see, so all of these will create doubt for the jury if it's a jury trial. Now the defense have the right to ask the court to petition the court to have either a jury trial or a trial by the judge. So those are some of the options that they have, and they can do that. So this case is going to be,
what could be your educated guess when it comes to that? If you were one of those on the defense team, what could be your direction in terms of judge or jury trial?
Well, my thing is that one of the things that has been in the defense favor is the many conferences and you know, there's something called the judgment by public opinion. This case is tainted based on the information that has been circulated all over. So if I was on the defense, I would say I want a jury trial. Now, the reason why I would do that, because you would not find an objective jurors. It would be difficult because everybody knows about the case. Everybody. Now, if you're going to try people through the jury trial, you want a jury of their peers, you, the defendant, and the prosecutor have to decide, have to pick the jury. And it's going to be very difficult because nobody's going to go there. I don't see anybody right now in the Monrovia area, in Maserati County, who has not had some kind of opinion about this case that would think objectively and look at the evidence presented objectively. It would be very difficult. So if I was on the defense, I would ask for a jury trial. And Terry, let me just say this. In a court system, there's no favoritism. They go by the law. In sentencing, the judge might say your first offense based on the crime and say, because they have case laws on how they did it for other people. And you can bring those case laws out during the time of sentencing or even during the proceedings. You can bring out case law and make some references to those case laws. But it's very difficult for a jury to say, oh, we know the history of this man. He was good before and he never committed such crime. That is never admissible as a factual evidence.
So this is why
as to either to find the person guilty or not guilty. During the sentencing, they might be able to consider those things during the sentencing. But once you're found guilty, they want to prove that you're guilty of the crime. And this crime is beyond every reasonable doubt. That's why the defense needs to focus on poking holes. And those guys, I think the defendants are talking too much. I think they're speaking too much.
Well, so quickly here, I want you to respond to Mr. George if you can't. Mr. Security Analyst, are you saying that the NSA, that's a National Security Agency, hasn't been involved in this case?
We have not seen them publicly involved because everything that's been presented has been presented by the IG. Not even the prosecutor, not even the Solicitor General has had a press conference. Not that I know of, and I stand corrected. There's been too many conversations with the police gathering evidence, and those evidence are supposed to be passed over to the district attorney, who happened to be the Solicitor General or something in Liberia, and they would tell them, we have the charges based on the investigation from X, Y, and Z, and we're going to study that to see if it can hold water in court. Now, they got to make that determination. whether to pursue the case or not. And I think they did that by going to the circuit court. And that's when the court referred the case to courtroom A.
I got a question for you, Security
Yeah,
Honor.
I think can I? Okay, go ahead, Doc.
Yeah. My question to you now is, are you saying the police single-handedly went to the court and presented this case? They didn't channel it through the Solicitor General of the Republic of Liberia? That's what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the press conferences was only done by the police, the IG. Right now, the evidence in court is presented by the prosecutor. And I think, you see, what I learned and what I've experienced is that, you see, a case like this is difficult. This is a high-profile case. And I think the court proceeding is going too quick for me. It's going rather quick for me.
How you want to go?
Somebody, hold on. Is someone pushing that to be on high speed?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. And that's why
But
it could be the defendant.
Mr. Sigley,
that's why I said.
Mr. Sigley,
yeah.
Can I come in a little bit, Mr. So? First of all, I think I want to devote you. I know you are experiencing your era, but from my observation, there have been crimes in this country, America, that we're in, and the police people come up to give their analysis, they give press releases. I agree that there are certain information that you cannot disclose because it can help to jeopardize the case. But the briefing, and you said something that the police did not involve, the police did involve the fire service. The police did call other fire people to come to the country, and they did the investigation as well. The fire service of the country also gave report on the fire incident, stating that it was caused by arson.
Was that done? Let me ask you a question. Was that done during the press conference?
Yes. The police did invite the fire service.
Wait a minute. The first time I heard this, what I noticed, and I stand corrected. The press conference that I saw was only Gregory Coleman. I didn't see anything.
But there's so other than check it out. Check it out on your phone.
Security apparatus in there.
Check it out on your phone. The police did involve, and Gregory Coleman said that they're working along with the NSA they're working along with other security.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
when
I'm saying,
present.
Yes, besides the NSA, the fire service chief himself was present in one of the press conferences, and he admitted to arson.
When was the
check it out.
When
the fire occurred, when they did the first investigation.
No, I'm not talking about investigation. I'm talking about when there were 11 charges against the defendant. When they came to announce that these people were possible suspects and that they were them.
But that's a different thing. Then.
I'm not talking.
No, you didn't mention the time they were arresting these people. You said
but that's what I'm saying, brother. Hold on one.
You saw the point I was making.
When you investigating, there's a difference between investigation and charging. When you're levying charges against anyone, and you're having press conference, if it took the joint security to gather the information, everyone is there to say based on the evidence gathered, but there's collaborative section. We've got enough evidence to pursue this case, to charge, and then put that before they went to jail that day when they announced it.
But Mr. Sigbe, how can the fire chief prove that somebody who committed a crime
I didn't say proof.
attached to the crime? But in my opinion, the fire chief don't have to be there to carry on charges for those
here.
The police have formed culpable for a crime.
My brother, there's no opinion. They're going by the law.
Yeah, but the fire chief that to me, that is not an error. He have nothing to do with that.
No,
the fire chief, even the second fire chief that came, They themselves went on there and they said, in order to do that, you need a forensic. And they said the investigation can only prove
Reverend Collins.
that
Reverend
the
Collins.
investigation can only prove.
Reverend Collins.
The investigation can only prove that there was an arson attack or there's an incendiary. They said incendiary. They didn't point to anybody accusing, and they made it clear on Spoon Talk that we cannot point to anybody
My
or
brother,
say this person did this person did that. And
my
that
brother.
was already done by the police.
Let me say this. CEO, just hold on 1 second. Let me say this, Terrence. Terry, the Reverend, the pastor. When we're talking about the law, number one, there's no opinion. Number two is that you made the point right now. Based on that, when they came to a conclusion to say we're going to charge these individuals, everyone should have been at that press conference. I'm not talking about investigative report. They were not giving investigative report. What they were doing, they were saying we want to charge these people with these crimes committed. We have enough evidence that we know or we think the prosecutor can go through with. You see, when a case is presented such as that, it goes to the prosecutor. It goes to the Attorney General's office. They sit down and look at it based on the Constitution to decide whether they got enough evidence. If they don't have enough evidence within 48 hours, that person will be released. We're not going to pursue the case because we don't think it can hold water. That's what I'm talking about. Not during the investigation. For the fire people to talk. I'm not talking about that.
Okay. CEO, can I ask? I have a question for the security analyst.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's see.
Yeah, Mr. Sembe, is there any security law that states emphatically that when you're giving a final report, the police chief should not be the spokesperson? There any law that states that everybody should flank the police chief while he's giving his final report? They all must be there when he's serving as a spokesperson for that report. Is there any police law that states that?
Well, why there is no law that I understand in the books that say that? To make your case of charges, to make sure that the people you levying the allegation on, that you're sure, you're certain, any investigation there that goes on, it would be very prudent for you to have other apparatus who did the investigation with you present at the press conference, because police sometimes does not even go back and do press conferences. It's the district attorneys that usually hold the press conferences, but the police is there with them. And the police job is to gather the evidence and do the charge. And the district attorney is the one who comes in and they're going to go indict these people. And that's why the district attorney has to prepare himself or herself to make the case in the court.
Mr. Sigbe, how often have you seen NSA speak to the press?
What?
How often in Liberia have you seen
No, I'm not talking about
speak to the press?
I'm talking about in democracy and in law. That's what I'm talking about. Because Liberia does it differently doesn't mean that they're doing it right. And we've seen many cases in Liberia that are not prosecuted correctly. You know that.
Because since I've been in Liberia, it's hard for me to. I've never seen the press. I've never seen NSA have press conference.
Well, in Liberia, what I'm saying is that the IG said it took the joint section, it took joint security to investigate. It's only prudent to have the joint security present at the press conference.
Yep.
That's all
what we're saying. Well, and I think what Moses is saying, I was just speaking to that point. Nobody is trying to shield any sort of wrongdoing here, but in order to validate, to make your case strong, we can see here and this is a high-profile case, it's political, everything is involved. So you want to make sure you, as the prosecutor to the government side, that you have a good case. You want to build your case from start to finish. And this is why you see press conferences are well coordinated. This one will speak on his or part they wrote the play 1 or 2 seconds. And like what he said, that the district attorney with the DA will come in. Now, based on all what they have gathered, now they're going to be calling these people. These people are potentials. They have all that it takes. They are potential. But to the other part here, do you think after they call these guys in, Moses, is that a right process? Prior to that, it was circulated that they were going to be picked up, they were going to be arrested. That came to fruition. They called them in. Is that normal to call people in and keep them after a while and then later say, oh, you'll go to the beach? Or should have been charged before sending them there?
Well, it's good to let the defense, and that's some of the things to do in the judicial system. Whereas these people are going to be charged, and they tell you, say, turn yourself over. We're not going to put a warrant out for your arrest. You need to turn it. You are the possible suspect, and we have these charges, and we're levying these charges on you. Turn yourself over, or we're going to put that on you. And the reason why they're giving you the chance to do that is because you're innocent until found guilty. It's very important. So you can when they go to the court. Now, if you defy and say you're not turning yourself over after a certain period of time, then they put an APB on you. Then they put a warrant out for your arrest. And when you do that then it's tough for you to bail. Then it's difficult for you to bail.
So quickly, that didn't happen. I'm not sure if I'm wrong, get me correct. That didn't happen in this case that led these gentlemen to be sent behind bars.
No, I think that to show up. They made a conference and said, we got charges, these are the suspects, and we want them to turn themselves in. And they did go there and got arrested. And because they were charged, they had to be held for 48 hours for the court, for the district attorney to make the determination whether or not. And they will go into indictment. And after that, when they've been indicted, then they goes to court to either set bail or be released on their self-recognizance. But that has to be done by a judge.
All right.
So, Mr. Segbe, are you saying that these guys are also, are these guys should do the last? But I want to ask,
make your point.
Are you saying that these guys can be arrested anytime since they are being indicted? They can be arrested again?
I'm not saying that. Because if the court found it enough to release them on bail, then you cannot be arrested because they already appear before the judge, and the judge gave them strict restriction on their movement and because anything you say from here on, anything you say here from here on can be used against you. That's what it gives you your Miranda's right. You got the right to remain silent, and all that stuff with that. But I think those guys are talking too much. They've gone to court every day. They came from court. They had something to say, and I think in my own estimation, I think they were tainting their case even more, trying to get They're trying to get public sentiment, because you see, when you go on these high-profile cases, and that's what I said the last time, it's difficult. And that's why they need to be very careful with how they proceed with the case. And I think the district attorney or whoever prosecuting the case will know that. But you see, like brother do things differently. It's very important not to say much from the defendant perspective, because anything you say can be used against you during the trial.
Anything you use can be used against you. Let's do a quick run-up. It's a little after 10 here. Let's forecast what's going to be happening in the coming week. And also you can make your last here. Let's say you appear before Judge So this evening here. And you either need to go to live imprisonment, or if I listen to your argument and let you go here. Let me start with the long-standing man here this evening, Terry. You see, the liberal decided, the liberal asked you to come. He told all you were coming, and he walked back. This is why this guy, the liberal always call.
The liberal always call. Rescue people. He said,
you're not going your phone, the bad thing here goes to. on Father's Day and all of that. He put his man here. But Terry here, let's sort of forecast what's a new development. Moses did mention something here that the acceleration of this is the way it's been pushing. It's like somebody from somewhere pressing the button. We need to get this thing here. And that's one of the reasons people is saying this political motivated. We need to demoralize people. We need to humiliate them. We need to take that political strength from them and let them just go once and for all. Do you agree with Moses that this case is being pushed, and who is pushing it? Let's say your final word. In the coming week.
Yeah, so I don't really think so that the case, in fact, the case should have been, this case should have been in court by now, and the process should have been ongoing by now. We ourselves, the case is almost almost a year. This thing happened since December 17th. So these guys have been going through the investigation, holding and pulling, jumping all over the place, and now we just at the preliminary stage of the case. And right now the stage is at, that is how the process is supposed to go on. I don't think nobody is influencing or fanning the fire and thing. They're gonna go to criminal court A, and that could take another 3-4 months. And even the Supreme Court could step in and say, "Hey, y'all put a halt on this thing and something." But the only thing I want to agree with Mr. Sigbe on, all right, is the aspect of these guys who talk too much. The sub judice. I heard some of the sub judice is when the case in court, you don't supposed to be discussing it in public. But unfortunately, for the other time, Abu Kamara, came off from the place there and start talking, say, "Oh, the man said he saw D15. That my car." They saw the D15 to so and so place. But yeah, the car at my car. That alone, you confirming the evidence that the court have on you. They did the same thing again. That's why I said I doubt that Honorable Kofa will come from other day, because I'm looking at the charges. On the charges, Gregor Cuomo could have used terrorism, or he could have used treason, because these both will work in regards to this. But I believe on the ground you need to establish intent. You also need to establish direct link. But the charges require soliciting, criminal solicitation, criminal facilitation. Even if the attempted murder and all those things cannot hold, criminal facilitation and criminal solicitation might entangle them, because with that you don't need direct evidence. Why did, and I want to believe that is how the court admitted this particular evidence, into evidence. It became admissible because you got Honorable Kofa admitting that it was his voice on the recording. Then again, Abu Kamara then saying no, it was AI generated. Then Yeke Kodoba on the other side is saying, "Oh yeah, the voice that we the one were talking in the car." You see the contradiction? That is really,
but we were not talking about completed, baby. Don't talk half of it. We were talking about
the case
it, but
already
that's
in
not
court. The case is in court. Then you talking plenty of that. He went on OKFN again and started to talk about there. Oh yeah, but what it mean?
Let him call him if you need to. Let him call him when they think that he knows more, and then they let the court call him. That's it. He's
right. That's what I'm saying. These are some of the reasons why the court is taking the evidence into consideration, because you confirming it. You confirming the evidence before the court. And that's why I agree with Mr. Sigbe on this one, that they talk too much. When Abu talked, the man just came out of the court, Abu. He said, yeah, the D15, he said, the man said he saw D15 to the Capitol building. D15, that my car. D15, that my car. And it was not. So are you admitting to the evidence that the police have on you? So these things can establish doubt in the court, and the judge will say, well, I think these people have sufficient evidence for prosecution. Thank you.
There you go. The liberal is here. The liberal, because a liberal friend Kofa, so liberal in one Kofa to go to jail. So I mean, I don't care. Some of these people, they don't even speak about
Oh,
it.
you don't care? Peter, so? Did I hear
I
you say
mean,
you don't
if I
care?
say I don't care, whoever commits the crime, I just want a fair
Oh, okay.
system that will point out to the people. So they must be held accountable. But I don't want it, I don't like how it's going, how it's being handled, how other branches of government are potentially been influencing this process to get us to be where we are. This is where some of us have concern. Dr. Mali.
Well, first, I don't know why are we forcing Liberia to meet America's standard of investigation. You are a third world country. You don't even have the personnel. The time people are even giving press conferences, there are other officials and they're all over hustling. There are so many factors involved in
Labor people then. Let them remember the I vote for John. Clarence, this is ridiculous. These are labor people then that they're here to dilute this conversation.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I don't think it would be fair enough to hold Liberia to America's standard. People have got procedure, they have got policy, they got everything in place. It's like we are a democratic apprentice practicing something that we try to get adjusted to. So we got to let it go. But more besides, the case is bailable. You see, it's a criminal case, it's bailable. The guy can get on bail and still move around and go to court. But if the issue is they are talking too much, yes, that what Kofa did when he went on Spoon TV, that got him in so much problem again. So let it talk too much. I think it would be good for the defense. And besides that, the issue of justifying, I think I want to agree with the CEO, the forensic thing will come to play. I'm very sure it will come to play in our court again. And the next thing that will come to court again, like the man of God said, the AI thing. I think an AI expert will be imported again to go and analyze some of these voices, whether it's really AI made. I can see that happening again. You see? So my only problem is that, no, I don't know whether we have AI expert in Liberia.
No, what I'm saying, the Bapolu boy and all did that. Our own cattle here, they said, people sit down out of ignorance, they indict themselves to criminal because these are things, people you call them to investigate. You have Abdullah Mohammed, they did something. You have our own Wilton cattle here the other day, validate making your own point. They did something to. Why will you put yourself in something that is more or less being investigated as a criminal thing? This is we are in trouble.
Yeah.
I need to be president in our country and really deliver his good.
Mr. Keta was very emphatic on this platform that the voice was AI made. I don't know. I don't have all the evidences. But when it comes to that, and Kofa then want to hang on that, then the government will be forced to bring in an AI expert to determine whether that voice was AI made. That one thing. And secondly, when the security expert said that the case is running too fast. So I think the security expert won't make us to believe that His Excellency is behind this thing now for it to move fast. I think this is where the security analyst is taking us.
Yeah, I mean, they are the people, and I can't agree with you because they are the ones that thought they are close to state authority. They have this sort of conversation.
Because I think I agree with the security analyst. They think no. They think that went to the first court less than 24 hours.
So, okay, Dr. Mali, let's do this here. It's the same way. With due respect, you are part of those with the bear way. Is that the conversations that you disagree with during your off-camera conversation? That gentleman, this thing, the way you're running with the case, is that what happened?
Wait a minute. When did you when did I have conversation with who?
I'm asking. If you don't have conversation,
No,
I'm
but
asking.
yeah. Okay, let me just
you have
let me
to be honest. You are connected to people there. So you have
no
your guys.
listen, my
You have
brother.
your men.
No,
Believe me, I will
see,
tell you, I'm not don't
can you play that tape? When they
I'm not connected to
on that
nobody
tape?
there when it comes to the criminal justice system. I'm not connected. I'm just telling you from my own
Oh,
experience.
see, all you have is
Now,
recording too.
but
You
yeah,
you have the
CEO guy
security
who
analyst
recording
recording.
of his own conversation. But let me say this. Let me say this for my closing. And there are a lot of points being made here. Let me say this for my closing. The first thing is that there's something called self-incrimination.
One second here before you close. This is very much important. It just came to mind. The liberal would never say that. Terry would never say that.
Oh
From
my
the
God.
onset, we saw, I'm coming. There is a pattern here to get us to this place here. Remember the representative incident who they said they were using money to get this, blah, blah, blah. Does it have any correlation with this? Would that come into play since more or less these people are being charged, they're going to criminal court, that money were given to people to get certain things done? Do you remember the money that was seized by President Collins? Who's staying here? I have some of the videos he sent, I get that here and everything. Do you think it has correlation to this whole case here that's going to come into place? And do you think they're going to, some of the people, the court, I know it was LSCC and all of that, we never heard anything. They call in then. I know the last time I talked with that money is still there. Do you think the court going to go much deeper with that?
Who the question for? Collins?
No, it was Collins. It was set up money that people that were giving money, they were offering money to this. You remember the
He asking
removal of
you,
the speaker?
Mr. Silver.
He's asking me?
Yeah, the Collins. Yeah, what I'm
Oh,
asking,
well,
do you think that
anything? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay. Anything that has a connection to this case. That's why I made the argument or the assertion that I think this case is running too fast. Because number one is that when you look at all the evidence that they're presenting, what you do is you present every evidence. There's no evidence that's going to be presented in the courtroom by the prosecutor or known to the defendant, the defense attorney. The defense attorney needs to be given evidence, and they need to be given ample time to have a rebuttal, to do other research, to do their own investigation, to have a rebuttal for any evidence that's going to be given in the courtroom. So the presentation of evidence in the courtroom recently in the circuit court was to give those evidence to say we have enough to indict them so that we can move to trial. Now that the case is gone to trial, any new evidence will have to be given to the defense in time to prepare themselves before it can be presented in the courtroom. And during that time, when it's presented, the defendant have the right to rebut. That's why it's beyond every reasonable doubt. That's why I said this case is a high-profile case, and I think they're running with this case too fast. Number one is that we need to understand. Wait. I'll come in there. We need to understand that we got three equal but separate branches of government. Liberia does not practice. You know, Dr. Marty just left. He said we cannot prosecute the way that they do in America. America has one of the best criminal justice system in the world, but it's still not fair. It's still not fair. So what we all do as a nation, the criminal justice system determines your leverage, being able to sit at the table and talk. Now, you guys remember just a few weeks ago, we were elected to the security as a non-permanent member of the Security Council. If you read what that position means, it has to do with justice. That non-permanent Security Council is also involved by looking at justices around the country. So this case is going to put us at the level where people are going to be watching to see how this case is prosecuted. especially where
Do
there
you
was a
think
fire
people are voting for?
in a federal building, as you may call it. And this is a high crime. So we need to be careful on how we proceed. We're not copying judicial system in other places, but justice, justice somewhere is justice nowhere. And that's where we're coming
Justice somewhere, justice nowhere. Yeah, you brought in the social security thing here. Something just comes to mind here. I want us to really go here now.
Because of what I said?
Yeah, is there a coincidence right after your chairmanship and we're seeing this thing being more explosive? Were they calculating? Were they very careful in working the file line so as not to sway voters into this process here? Most likely something like that.
Well, the strategy could be, it could have been, but we cannot depend on that because at the judicial level, it's totally different.
What is the level of percentage could have been? So, actually, we are already out of here. So, next time.
I can't make that determination access of not being there to really look at it.
Well,
the thing about it is, yeah. But, it's a very good conversation. We're going to continue to have these conversations. And I think that what we need to do is give time to the legal system to do its course, somehow, some way. And the public opinion gonna play a lot of role in there because from the get-go, it was introduced and people were still looking at public opinion on it, even from the way the press conference was held. And I don't want, we need to start getting away from the public opinion on things and looking at strict justice as per the Constitution and the crime committed. And that's how we can get to change our justice system. That's my own opinion. But I'm sure there's conversation.
Can I run an inquiry?
You believe GOL?
I can't hear Mr. So.
You want to act like you're not hearing. I'm asking, do you believe GOL is running with this case as the LA?
I can't say that. I would say the judicial system or whoever else is involving. I don't know if the prosecutors are on board or the defense attorneys are forcing the prosecutors and keep filing some briefs in the courtroom, not getting them there. But now that it's gone to courtroom A, let's see how that process works.
Maybe you're going to speed or two. You don't know.
Well, no. That's what I said. Let's see how it works. Let's see how it works.
All right.
If this last process was then that's understood.
So, Mr. So, is the cow in going to now? I just want to know.
Oh my God! No.
I never had a chance to talk about it. But this is another critical because I was on a conference in this whole thing here.
No.
This whole thing. No, listen. I mean, I was on a conference of very few.
I ain't got no tail. The cow that said they ain't got no tail.
Yeah, because you have
some cows have no tail. Some cows are tailless.
Who you brought this? Yeah, who brought this? I never had a chance to talk about it. Veronica Doe did the right thing. Sometimes you have to stay at cost, and people didn't know. And she was very, very
integrity.
I think a very good favor because she didn't want to point it, but I know it because this guy and this one here classically conveys and make a case that George Weah is just not ready and is just refused to be a mature person to conduct himself as a 4-month leader. And he's not doing anything. His people around him are not doing anything. I mean, I see it.
I need to cut the part. I need to cut the part, yeah.
You know what to call it. I'm not a y'all.
Mr. So, that's so tonight.
I can tell you.
So, CEO, this is still live? You're talking about that cow business with no tail? We stay
Yeah,
live.
it's still live.
We live.
It's not like I like whether they carry to wherever they carry it, they carry all she knows.
Wait a minute. How many cars they carry? 2 or 3?
2.
I don't
One
even
or
know.
2?
I think it's whatever.
Yeah. JMP did not eye
He
on that.
went out
JMP
there.
also eye.
He went out there. Oh, they call me. I don't understand. I don't.
You are going
understand.
away. Somebody begged him to go there.
He messed up big time.
So what he did was he made as a number 2 I got.
But you never
They were
did.
trying to. I mean, didn't want her to talk it, but I know it because she didn't want her to put the uncle in Sunday, and she was very, very much strategic. And one of the things
But moreover, I listened to mommy and she said,
I'll see you
she
guys.
was not about herself. She was talking on behalf of her mother. They wanted her to go to George Weah play, and she said, "No, I'm not going to go there." And she stood her ground because what CDC people wanted was, by the time she had gone there, even if she was going to do it goofy out of respect of a former president, Kalasco and the group, they would start throwing pictures all up there, Mami Dokan, this and that. And she said, "I am on the mat. It doesn't matter whether you're president." You see, President Boyka, he went there. That's why after his engagement for Nima, he went there. And because he on that, he called them. He let them know because of schedule. But he joined. We are even as a number told you.
yeah,
you gotta talk it.
That's when you go start. You go start
That's
it.
something you gotta talk.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to come here, but
I'm going to call her right now.
that man, he just refused to learn and to pick up. I don't know how can you when you he has not learned a lesson. And I don't know when he's going to learn that. So
but I said that your man.
No, he's not a man. I mean, if I say
The man just need to apologize.
Apologize.
I don't have any.
He just need to apologize to the family.
That man has not apologized in his entire life. What very thing he will apologize today?
Because he need to, because I think it will haunt him. It will haunt him 2029.
Prior to he
it will
going
haunt him 2029.
You see, Collins, Reverend Collins, the Bishop Collins, the Reverend Collins, the what you call it thing, Rescue 2. Y'all stop doing that. What do you mean 2029? Who you talking about 2029?
Let me just tell you.
But you know, Joe, we are being a race 2029.
Hey man, I beg you, man. Let's stop
I'm
that
not
thing.
sure how he's not picking up, he's not grabbing, he doesn't understand.
Right
and
now,
the people, the whole thing, the people, let me just tell you, before going to that compound, there was a meeting, there was a conversation.
Yeah.
A tutoring was provided to him to meet the standards of the traditions as to how to go about to say it, what to do. That there should have been a conversation with him, Mami, and Isaac. The Reverend came from Hippope root and he went out there. He decided to do on the contrary in his own understanding, in his own wisdom, thinking that he's doing the right thing, and went and just blew the entire thing off. You know? And that's what he said. Our tradition, we the one kill car. We don't tell people can't kill car for us. So why you saw that lady was doing it was just a sort of ceremonial thing. And said it doesn't mean she was really telling George Weah to come and kill car. The conversation was held. George Weah was supposed to have met with Mami, Isaac, and a few family people. Gave him the tutoring, and the family were going to come to make the pronouncement. But because of that narrow-minded thing, I want to show off, he decided to ignore it. And when he got there, he just went straight to slaughter the car right up there. I gave you 2 cars. I wanted to come here. After telling me to come here, my whole team will go there. But that's the society we have. So I don't know, because if you refuse to be mature, to be able to make sound decision, good judgment.
And he also refused to shake that gay hand. He did not.
Because why he was trying to, there were a lot of things that factor in, which is a good point. What he was trying to do now, he does not want to face the badge because he did that to Prince Johnson. So doing that now, the political talking point could come back to him. But forgetting to know, He ignored all of the sounds, the red flag with the girl tweet, and and she did something really wonderful. She said something during that interview. He said it's not for my brother Samuel Doe Jr. He's not entitled, and she's quite correct. So all her conversation, it was not about whether her brother got job or this and that.
No, about her mother. Yeah.
All was the mother's ill respect, the way the mother and lies, said things, and she has the right to defend her mother character, even though she's dead.
Right.
And that was a bad thing to do, because when she's buried, there is no longer a news. So she get it out of her chest. So that other one that came on and want to do this and that, your good night, your happy Father Day. Joy, I don't know. And I was told.
So the people come for you. They will come for you too.
Who people? Come for me for what?
The political spinners. The spinners.
I'm just saying what is right. The call of Kimia, placing that call after Mommy, there is a lot more to it. We're talking about at some point in time. They don't think when they finish doing things, when the day break on the end, when they want to say they want to do things correct, they need to. It's sad. They need to do something. And then people try to, Mommy do this, yes, there's a tradition, but we must know that time has involved. You can't sit down there and people trample over your rights and demean you and disrespect. And that's her mother. When you die, that your son or your wife was better take decision. So they want to eat cow, they better go to Cote d'Ivoire and bring some cow there and go eat. Not because they want somebody want to eat cow, somebody can disrespect people, mother, and say whatever thing because he's former president. No, that's not how it works. And
you see, Mr. So, Mr. So, let me get
mother. She didn't argue, oh, why my brother not get it? No, he's not entitled to it. It is the will of the president. So I don't know why they wanted that young lady to say. It could be you. Put yourself in that shoe. Good, for God's sake.
Yeah. So let me just squeeze it in. Concerning that money, the ECOWAS code and the rest of it. I listened to Lafayette Go, and he stated clearly on Spoon. He said he was one of the guys on the team, on the legal team. He said, look, I advised these guys, let's call that woman. We may not have all the money to give to this woman. Let's call this woman and give her something, some settlement. This lady is going to understand with us. And he said the guys refused. I listened to Lafayette. He said the guy refused.
I don't know, but I learned it was the same very Kimia administration. They were the people that seized that.
Yes.
We yet to verify. That's
why
even called on.
Yes.
So that his call.
Yes.
I can tell you, it was in good faith. He tried to smooth stuff to kind of do things. I don't think Mami wanted to go more explosive, but decided to let it go. But trust me, in the long run, you're going to get more detail. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Your guy left you today alone. Another boy moved to North Dakota. James Akwe. James, I let him call you.
Say that again.
The Papa call you.
Who Papa?
Oh my man.
Who?
Come on, man.
Oh, fuck.
Man, you got our man Jerry gone. Alain, you got a call. They're talking to the liberal. Sooner and next, Jerry will be the religion advisor. We'll be good for our network. I'll leave that in high school. You're good next.
Good name is also.
We'll be here tomorrow. The liberal thing he's going to get away with his tabata, but we're going to be here tomorrow to have this conversation. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, thank you so much, and have a pleasant. Thanks for my show. What's going on right now? Okay, that's it this evening. This is something not right. Something not going on right here. Okay, guys, thank you so much. We're going to be back here. I believe the Liberal Progressive will be on tomorrow. In his regular program, conversation with Samson Toe. So we'll be back here tomorrow to see what the Liberal have to say, and we will have a conversation. Until then, have a pleasant good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on your locations. And those of you, for all the men in the house, my man Georgie, Emmanuel Tia, Stephen Sly, Malone, and all of the gentlemen in the house, Martin, Kennedy, we say happy Father's Day to Aliyu. Thank you so much. Joseph K. Morris, and all of you guys, we say happy Father's Day. Mr. Thomas, I hope I'm calling the name correct. If I'm not, please forgive me. We say happy Father's Day. Hope we enjoy the day today. Continue to follow us. We are also on YouTube. Continue to follow our channel. Subscribe, follow our page. Your comments, your tweets, always welcome. If you want to be an analyst on this network, just let us know. We're gonna bring you on here as well to have this sort of conversation. Hey, Mr. Slanger, good evening, good afternoon. How are you doing? I hope my papa had a good Father Day dinner today, Eddie. Mr. Snaga himself. Until then, folks, that's how we're going to leave here this evening. Have a pleasant evening. And by God's willing, we'll be back here with more editions of the program. Thank you so much. Have a pleasant evening.